פרק עשירי, משנה א'. כבר הזכרנו בפתיחה למסכתנו, we already mentioned in the beginning of this מסכת, שפרק זה עושה כולו, this entire 10th chapter, בפרטי הדינים של סדר ליל הפסח. This has to do everything with the Pesach sacrifice, with the seder itself. From the beginning to the end. So practically, here, this is the practical here. That's the only thing that's left for us. All the 9 chapters that we did got nothing to do with the Jewish, nothing to do with us anymore. Look, the only chapter that has to do with us is this chapter. All the rest have got nothing to do with us. And even this chapter, we can do it properly. Yeah? Arvei Pesachim, the night before Pesach, day before Pesach, Chol Erev Pesach, Samuch lemincha, close to mincha, כבר ביארנו, we already mentioned, שזמן תפילת המנחה, that the time for davening mincha, נקבע לפי זמן הקרבת התמיד, comes according to the תמיד offering, של בין הארבעים, that is the last offering that is brought. ולפי שהיה תמיד קרב בכל יום, ב9 שעות ומחצה של היום, the תמיד usually used to be brought at 9.5 hours of the day, like in today's 3.5, 3:30 already you closed בית המקדש. בית המקדש was closed 3:30. Yeah. תקנו זמן המנחה מ9 שעות ומחצה. That's why we established the time of mincha from 9.5 hours. והיא נקראת מנחה קטנה. It is called small mincha. שכן מ6 שעות ומחצה של היום, because from 6.5 hours מתחיל זמן מנחה גדולה. That's why we can daven mincha already. And then you can also bring the Pesach sacrifice. על זמן שחיטת התמיד בערב פסח. Because this is the earliest... ומבואר בגמרא, the Gemara explains, שכוונת משנתנו למנחה קטנה בסמוך למנחה. That a Mishnah means the small mincha and close to mincha mean היינו כחצי שעה לפני זמנה. Means a half hour before its time. היינו ב9 שעות של היום. Means around 3 o'clock. In our time zone, around 3 o'clock. לערך לפי שעוננו בשלוש אחר הצהריים בערך, approximately around 3 o'clock. עיין להקדמה, so when it comes to 3 o'clock ערב פסח, the rules start coming in about seder. The seder rules, not the Pesach sacrifice. Pesach sacrifice is already ready.
Done.
Yeah, done. Now comes the rules for seder. First rule.
Half an hour before.
Before 3 o'clock.
Okay.
לא יאכל אדם, לא יתחיל לאכול עד שתחשך. Not allowed to have a meal. That's it. Not allowed to have a meal. Until it's going to become dark. Why? Why not allowed to have a meal? I'm hungry. כדי שיאכל מצה בערב לתיאבון. So that to make sure that when you eat the matzah, you're going to be hungry. You have to have taste for it. It doesn't have to be this, I'm full, I can't eat. משום הידור מצווה. Because then you're not doing the mitzvah properly. You're not enjoying the commandment. You're having a hard time eating. ונקטה משנה עד שתחשך. And the Mishnah told us until it becomes dark. שכן שנו בתוספתא, because it says in the תוספתא, הפסח והמצה ומרור, that the Pesach sacrifice, the matzah and the maror, מצוותן משתחשך. The mitzvah is when it becomes dark. והטעם, and the reason, משום שנאמר, because it says, ואכלו את הבשר בלילה הזה. It says you should eat the flesh at that night. והקשו מצה ומרור לקורבן הפסח. And matzah maror comes together with the Pesach sacrifice. הרמב"ם כותב, the Rambam writes, אסור לאכול ערב פסח מקודם המנחה כמעט. Rambam says the same thing, you're not allowed to eat a little bit before מנחה. כדי שיכנס לאכילת מצה בתאווה, so that you're going to have enjoyment when you eat the matzah. אבל אוכלו מעט פירות או ירקות, but you can have an apple, you know, a little bit of fruits and vegetables. אבל לא ימלא קרסו בהם, but don't have a big meal. You know, a little bit, you're hungry, take something to your mouth. וחכמים הראשונים היו מריבים עצמם ערב פסח. But he tells us that the sages used to make sure that they don't eat. כדי לאכול מצה בתאווה, so that when the Pesach comes, they can eat it, you know, while they're still happy. ויהיו מצוות חביבות עליו. And the mitzvot should be happy on him. By the way, this is very practical. In a lot of Chabad houses, when it comes to Pesach, because Pesach is so long until you eat, a lot of people are putting stuff out on the table for the people to eat beforehand. You know, so that's I know Israelis don't do that because Israelis are used to it, but Americans, you invite them over and now you're going to give them food in 3 hours from now, you know, until all the proceedings, they're going to go crazy. So you put stuff on the table, yeah, a little bit, you know, like nashes and they eat before. So over here, it tells you it's better not to eat, even if you do it for the guests, because the guests are going to for you. It's better for you to starve, not to starve, but to be very hungry when the Pesach sacrifice comes. And continue, ואפילו אני שבישראל לא יאכל. So, this is a custom that came from the Romans, especially at that time, that when you were nobility, when you were free, you were a landowner, it's called the nobility, you would eat while laying down. You probably seen in the Roman movies how everybody sits laying down on the left side and eats, right? Yeah, Mishna של אחשוורוש. But only kings and nobility used to do it. It's a sign of freedom. Because you have to remember how the world was at the time. If you were a farmer, somebody owned the land you were in, and you paid taxes to him, which means you're not free. It's almost like a slave. When he used to sell the land, he used to sell the land with the villages. In other words, the people are like him, are like, you know, they're subjugated to him. So when you actually, the nobility, that's the way they ate. So on Pesach, since we are free, we have to eat that way, like a king, that's right. Today it's not custom, nobody eats this way. But in the old time, that was the idea. That's right. Yeah, you see, you're supposed to do it still. Nobody, practically it's hard, but that's why you're supposed to do it. ואפילו אני שבישראל לא יאכל בליל הפסח, and even a poor person in Israel shouldn't eat in ליל פסח, עד שיסב, until he's going to lean on his left. By the way, we do lean to the left on the specific cards. I never seen anybody lean during the Shulchan Aruch, you know, during the regular meal. There's no time. I think it's practical. Where you going? There's no space, you know.
When I eat the matzah, I go like this.
Exactly. The matzah, all the matzah and the wine, everything that has to do with matzah. But the meal itself, we don't do it. עד שיסב, ישב על כסת, או על מיטה, a person sits on a chair or in a bed, נשען על ידו השמאלית, he leans on his left hand, ויאכל וישתה בהסיבה, and he eats and drink while leaning, כדרך שנוהגים בני חורין. This is the way the nobility used to do it. לזכר שיצאו ישראל מעבדות לחירות. As a remembrance that we are free now. יש מפרשים, there are those who explain, שמשנתנו בא להשמיע, that our Mishnah came to teach us, שאפילו אני, שאין דרכו בהסיבה, that even if a poor person is coming, he never leans, he never leans, ואין לו כרים וקסתות להסב עליהם. What do you mean he never leans? He doesn't even have a chair, he doesn't even have a thing to lean on. מכל מקום חייב לאכול בהסיבה. It says, I don't care. Also you have to eat while leaning. כגון שישב בספסל, that he's going to sit on a bench, שאף הסיבה תעני על ספסל חשובה הסיבה. So maybe usually you sit on the floor, sit on something else, sit on a box for this specific occasion. ולא יפחתו לו מ4 כוסות של יין, and you should not give to him less than 4 cups of wine. This is an interesting halacha. So let's learn about it. חכמים תקנו לשתות 4 כוסות יין בסדר ליל הפסח. So the sages established, this is from the sages, the 4 cups of wine that one needs to drink. So it says, כוס בלשון המשנה הוא מין זכר. כוס is a male. ולכן נשתמש במין זכר גם בביורנו. כוס ראשון, לא כוס ראשונה, אוקיי. כוס ראשון, it says the first cup, אומרים עליו קידוש היום. You say in it the kiddush for the day. Like we're going to learn in Mishnah Bet. כוס שני, קוראים עליו את ההגדה. The second cup, you read the Haggadah. That we're going to learn that in Mishnah Daled. כוס שלישי, the third cup, מברכים עליו ברכת המזון. This is the cup that you hold for the ברכת המזון. Like we're going to learn in Mishnah Zayin. כוס רביעי, קוראים עליו את ההלל. And the fourth cup is the Hallel. משנתנו בא ללמד, over here we have the Mishnah comes to teach, שאפילו אני המתפרנס מן הצדקה, לא יפחתו לו גבי צדקה, המחלקים את צרכם מארבע כוסות של יין. It says, you have to make sure that every Jew has enough for these 4 cups of wine. Now, why is this important? ואפילו מן התמחוי, also from the tamchui. Let me explain what is this tamchui. There's many kinds of charities that are required to be given to poor people. But one of the charities is designated only for very poor people. In other words, if you're poor but you're not very poor, you're not allowed to take from that charity. And it's called, think of it like today, it would be a soup kitchen. Yeah, soup kitchen. It says there was a rule for soup kitchen. Not everybody can come to soup kitchen. It says, what was the rule? If you have enough for 2 meals, you have enough food, enough money to buy 2 meals, you're not allowed to eat in a soup kitchen. In other words, you have to be. Yeah, exactly. You have $5, you can come. It's only people who have nothing. That's who are allowed to eat over there. But it says for Pesach, the 4 cups of wine that were instituted by the rabbis, if you don't, even if you have a little bit of money, you still are allowed to take from the tamchui from that one. ואפילו מן התמחוי. אפילו הוא עני שבעניים, even if the person is the poorest of the poor, הנוטל מן התמחוי, such a poor person that is allowed to take from the charity of תמחוי. היינו, מן הקערה שמחלקים מן המזון לעניים. From the bowl that you take from it, food to the poor person. By the way, one of the examples of Naval Bereshut HaTorah, a person who's, we call him, he's doing a commandment and he's still like a Naval, he's still like a bad person. Some people used to go to the Aniim, right? And if you can imagine, let's say you need to have $3 in order not to be able to go to, you can buy 2 meals in $3 and now you can eat from the soup kitchen. So they used to give the guy exactly $3. Why? So that right now he won't be able to go to the soup kitchen. That's what he used to do on purpose, you know.
He can go and buy a meal.
Yeah, but he cannot. You have to go buy a meal, go to prepare, go all the way over there, and he could have eaten the soup kitchen. And you're doing it for that reason. The guy is doing it on purpose, so the guy was not going to use it. Yeah, that's one of the examples. ואם גבאי צדקה לא נתנו לו, so it says, what happened if he didn't get the 4 cups? צריך הוא להשתדל בעצמו בכל כוחו שיהיה לו 4 כוסות. He needs to make sure he has the 4 cups of wine. כגון, so it says, let's say he's so poor and he can't. So it says, there's no such thing as so poor and he can't. You remember how important is this? כגון שימכור מלבושו, a person has to start selling his shoes, sell something. You don't have, sell something. או ילווה או ישכיר עצמו כדי לקנות יין. You do anything in your power, in order to buy this wine. בירושלמי נאמרה כמה טעמים כנגד מה תקנו חכמים 4 כוסות. The Yerushalmi explain what did these 4 cups represent. כנגד 4 לשונות של גאולה האמורים בגאולת מצרים. This is 4 times that redemption is mentioned when we went out of Egypt. והוצאתי, and God says, I took them out, אתכם מתחת סבלות מצרים, I took you out from the oppression of Egypt, והצלתי אתכם מעבודתם, I saved you from the work, וגאלתי אתכם בזרוע נטויה, בשבטים גדולים, I redeemed you with a mighty hand, with many miracles, ולקחתי אתכם לי לעם, and I bestowed you, I took you to me as a nation. So for these 4 לשונות, there's 4 cups. כנגד 4 פעמים כוס שנזכרו אצל פרעה בפרשת שר המשכין. The Yerushalmi also says there was 4 times that the word kos was said by the שר המשכין, the butler. He says, וכוס פרעה בידי, he says, and the cup of Paro is in my hand, והשחט אותם אל כוס פרעה, it says, and I squeezed them into the cup of Paro, והייתן את הכוס על כף פרעה, I gave the cup on the hand of Paro, ונתת כוס פרעה בידו, and you should give the the cup of Paro in his hand, שעניינם היה סיבה לגאולת מצרים. That the Meiri explains why each one is actually the reason why the Jewish people go out of Egypt. This is a Kabbalistic teaching, we're going to learn it one day maybe. כנגד 4 מלכויות שנשתבו ישראל להם, and it is the 4 kingdoms that we became slaves to. Number 1, Ksadim, Madai, Yavan, Ve'edom. This is the 4 kingdoms that we became.
חסידים מה זה? זה בבל כאילו? לא.
Yeah. חסידים זה בבל, yeah.
מתי זה פרס? ואדום זה רומא.
Yeah. ונרמז בכתובים להשקותם 4 כוסות, and it says to give them 4 cups for redemption. So it says, קח את כוס היין. This is from Yirmiyah. Take this cup of wine. החמה הזאת, the anger wine, מידי, from my hand, והשקית אותו את כל הגויים, and you give it to drink all the nations. Then it says, כוס זהב בבל, the cup of gold in Babylon, ביד השם משקר את כל הארץ. In the hand of God, makes everybody in the land drunk, which means they all are drinking from that cup. We're all drinking from that cup, like America. Right now, the whole world is drinking from the American cup. ורוח זלפות מנת קוסם, כי כוס ביד השם. Because the whole thing is angry, because there's a cup of the other nations in the hand of God. He makes everybody drunk. אך שמריה ימצאו ישתו כל ראשי הארץ. And then all the evil people are going to drink from that cup, and when the redemption is going to come, and we're going to be redeemed. ולרמז דבר זה תקנו לומר בכוס רביעי, and this is to hint for this. This is why on the 4th cup we say שפוך חמתך על הגויים. It says, look, we've been drunk with all these exiles under their influence for so many years. So now on the 4th cup we say, hey, take redemption for all these exiles that we suffered. That's another one. And the 4th one, כנגד 4 כוסות של פורענות, שעתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא להשקות לאומות העולם. There's going to be 4 punishments that God going to give the nations of the world. שכנגדם עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא להשקות לישראל 4 כוסות של נחמה. And each one corresponds with the redemption cup that the Jewish people are going to drink. כמו שנרמז בכתובים, לקצוויתן, השם מנת חלקי וכוסי. It says, God is my portion and my cup. כוסי רוויה, my cup is going to be full. כוס ישועות אשא, the cup of salvation I'm going to lift up. And that's it.
הוא אומר ישועות משמע 2.
כוס ישועות משמע 2. And where's the 5? Because we already have 3. So where's the 0? Because yeshuot means 2 kinds of cups we're going to drink.